Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mohammad Hassan. I'm working as DevOps engineer. Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how we can add multiple Kubernetes cluster in ArgoCD, right? And we are going to also see how we can add Helm charts and link those our custom Helm chart policies in ArgoCD. So let's begin. So we need to have two Argo. We need to have at least two Kubernetes clusters. So what I've done, I've created a script for you guys, and in this particular repo, I've added this script. For kind multi-cluster shell, you need to have either, remote server, or definitely you can use your local VM, either set up by using VMware or VirtualBox. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a shell into my Ubuntu box, right? So to create this environment where we have two kind cluster setup, and then I'm going to run this particular script. What this script does, it is going to install kubectl helm and other stuff like kind latest version. Along with that, we are going to use 1.25 Kubernetes version, right? So let's do that. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to say nano kind dot kind multi-cluster dot shell. So we need to have at least two cluster for this demo. If I do manually, it will take some time. So I'm going to show you what script does. Till then, what I'm going to do, I need to run this particular script to make sure everything is available and running. And let it paste there. Press Control S and X. So I'm going to make this guy executable, right? And chmod plus X kind cluster site. Okay, so let me show you the distro as well, cat etc was the release. So you can all set up this. Sorry, I should not type this tilt. So, and if you do Control E and do tab. So this is the release which we're using, Ubuntu 22 LTS Jammy Jellyfish. So and now I'm going to simply run this particular script. So and let it run in debug mode, and so you will be able to see the stuff regarding the installation. So what it does, you see, instead of showing you the actual file, what it is currently doing, it is doing the installation of Docker and Docker Compose, right? So definitely it will take some time. It is going to pull that particular official script by provided the Docker. It is going to install Docker and Docker Compose on it. Then what it does, let me show you from the console, remove this guy. So then it is going to simply set up the kubectl installation, latest version, Helm installation, right? We needed client installation. We need to have two clusters. So this is, I think, the latest version of client. It is going to install on this particular Linux AMD 64-bit operating system. Make this guy executable, and then we are going to set up our cluster number one, which is going to be this configuration, and it is going to be available on this particular port, right? And the second cluster, it is going to set up with this particular script, right? And it is going to be available on this particular port, right? So we are setting up this, and the configuration of both, or I should say, the context file for both cluster is going to be available on this particular .cube/config, which is going to be available on our system. So this will take a while. Till then, I'm going to pause the video, and I will be back with you guys shortly once everything is set up. So guys, if you see, two of the cluster actually has spun up by this script. So if I do kubectl get nodes, right? Uh, okay. So this one cluster is ready. If I do kubectl config get context, so kubectl config, if I'm not wrong, but commands have already context, I think. Yep. So you see, we have two clusters available for this demo. So the installation of ArgoCD, I've already shown you guys in my previous videos. I do recommend to install ArgoCD with Helm in highly available mode, um, which is also mentioned here. I mean, the installation, but as this is the demo, right? So I'm going to simply copy this command, which is going to be non-HS setup. And currently we have this context. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a context number one client cluster. So if I do kubectl, okay, I need, I guess I forget the commands. So let me just bring this guy, use the context. It has use context. So config use context. So we need to copy this command config use context. So you can use the help command as well, but I don't have much time regarding the time of this particular video. So context, we are looking to use this context, right? So let's quickly do that. And you see we are now switched to this particular context. So if I do nodes and if I do get, uh, okay, get context. So you see now we are switched, right? So guys, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to, copy this particular command and I'm going to paste it here. It is going to create a namespace ArgoCD, and it is going to simply set up the um, set up RBAC and everything secrets with ArgoCD. So what I'm going to do, simply I'm going to bring this guy on my on my lens, and what you need to do. Simply copy this config. Regarding lens, I do have videos, right? You can watch those particular videos. So copy this config, right? So and till here, right? And open a lens. So initially it's going to give error because we have not actually done the SSH tunneling port forwarding to these particular ports, but I'm going to shortly do that. So till then, I'm going to open another shell on my terminal, which is going to be available on my local machine. So what do you need to do? Open the lens. I think I already have opened it. So okay, I'm going to simply post this. Paste this particular guy here and save it. Connection is not gonna work. Let me show you that because we don't have done the SSH tunneling to this particular machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say, well, if config.me, the IP address of my machine is this one. So I'm going to do press Control C here, and if I do SSH hyphen NL, right, and okay, so let me simply do 8443 and 0.0.0 on every base. 8443 cloud underscore user, and I'm going to paste the IP address. It is going to ask the password. If you are using the um, file here, you can do that with -i as well. So I'm going to do the similar stuff. Similar commands. So if I do SSH 8444, so let's do that. And you need to have similar sort of stuff. Definitely you can use your VMs as well, local VMs. So I'm using a remote VM. That's why I need to do this SSH tunneling, right? So there's this guy, and there is some typo, and let's try to fix it. So I do have okay, cloud underscore user. So yeah, issue is that this flag is not there. and it is gonna ask me a password for that particular machine. So let me show you the stuff. You see previously it was uh, has error. One of the machine is connected, and you will see, and the Argo CD is going to be available in this particular machine. So, and then if I click this other guy, and let's try to connect with this guy. So you see both are clustered now connected. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply show you guys the Argo CD in cluster number one, right? And other than that, uh, you need to have Argo CD installed regarding the addition of new cluster. So let's first of all see the Argo CD. So I need to wait for a while regarding my cluster to available. So one of the cluster you see is available. This is the cluster. We don't have Argo CD in the second cluster, and you see this kindly crowd is cluster 2. And if I try to access this guy, so sometime it will take some time, and let me to disconnect and just let's try to connect again. Okay, so now we are connected with this guy. So if we click the ports in the namespace Argo CD, you see everything seems to be as provision for us. If I do navigate to services, and if I click this server, I'm going to do a port forwarding to my local machine. So I'm going to say 8095. I press this particular guy, and what it does, it is going to do port forwarding on our, host machine. So I don't have password right now, so I'm going to show you how you can get that particular password. So click advanced and continue. Right. So okay, let's try to close this guy and bring this guy on the same I mean tab just next to your existing one. So I've done exactly that, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to navigate to the section and just here click on pick secrets, and initial admin password is this one. This is base 64 encoding. Just to inform you, this is just encoding, not encryption. Okay, so I just need to wait for a while, and sometimes do because of network, you need to do stop and start the port forwarding again, and let's try to reload again. So hopefully this guy will be back, and I'm going to say proceed, and I need to provide the admin password, which is going to be admin, and username is going to be admin, and password I'm going to put it here shortly, right? So this is the user interface of Argo CD. Currently, we don't have any cluster. We have only by default a single cluster on which it has spin up. We need to add additional cluster as this is the part of this demo. So if I navigate to the settings, click cluster, you see by default we have this local cluster. We need to add one. And so this is the machine where we have done SSH. So now what we are going to do, we need to install the Argo CD CLI, right? So if I scroll it down, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to install the Argo CD CLI. So this is how you can simply copy this particular command and install the Argo CD. I'm using that particular server, right, to install the Argo CD CLI. It will take a while, and Argo CD is going to be available for us. Then what we're going to do, okay, and if you want to have a specific version of our ArgoCD, you can do this way, but we are going to use the latest version. And then we are going to do port forwarding and to local to on that particular machine. So instead of creating no new shell, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a tmux session here. It is just like, session inside your machine, just like a screen is another tool to do that. So I'm going to say tmux new, right? And session is going to be, let's say, call this session number one. And I'm going to do port forwarding to my machine, right? In order to access that particular ROCD, which we have done through UI, and I'm going to do this way from CLI. So press Control B, release, and press D now. So now what we are going to do, so we are going to copy this particular command ROCD login localhost, and we are going to simply, you see, 8091 is now, available on our machine. So if I do go -v, let me show you, telnet, telnet to localhost 8091, right? So you see we are connected. All right, so let's try to simply copy this particular command, and it's going to ask for the username and password. We know that if I click this guy here and secrets, initial admin password, I'm going to provide the same. Um, Copy this guy and paste it here. Okay, I should press enter. So let me do login again. Now paste it. All right, we have successfully logged in. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to copy the context, right, on my host machine. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy the context, right, so which is available here, right, and I'm going to paste it here. Why we are doing it, let me show you that stuff. So if I do docker ps, right, and if I do docker inspect of this particular container, although because this Kubernetes cluster is running in a container, right? And this is the Cloud Geeks local one, and where we have Argo CD setup, Cloud Geeks local 2 cluster, and I'm going to do inspect on to this particular guy, and the IP address of this particular is container is this machine of this Kubernetes cluster is this one. So what I'm going to do, I've already copied it. I'm going to do nano config, right? And if you see the cluster number two with this address, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply update some of the stuff here. Um, like port is going to be, we are trying to access that particular cluster directly. So port is going to be 6443, which I'm going to show you, and this is the default. And I need to paste this guy, right? And press Control X, S and X, save it. So if you just scroll up a little up here, and okay, let me show you the stuff here. Right, you see this is port. Um, this is the host port mapping, right? And this is the host IP, right? So okay, so you see this is the 6443 exposed port to that particular guy. So now what we are going to do, we have set up our config. So simply what we are going to do, add ArgoCD cluster. You see currently we have one cluster here, and let's try to add this particular cluster. So I'm going to use this command ArgoCD cluster add. We have already logged in with our cluster, and if I do history, right? So history, we have run these particular commands. So regarding the config, get context, this command number 20, So instead of copying this, I'm going to simply press this guy, and I'm going to um, provide the cluster name. This is the one which um, I need to add, and dash dash uh, okay, cube config, right? And the cube config of this is we have I mean populated on our machine. So let's simply type this guy, and let's try to add this guy. It is going to ask us that you want to continue. It is going to create the service count and RBAC for that particular stuff. So uh, let's try to do that. So seems like the cluster is added here. If I do navigate to this guy, try to refresh, we should be able to see at least, I mean, definitely two cluster. One is default, and the second one, this one we have added. So this cluster has now been added, and this part is done. Now what we're going to do, we are going to navigate to the other part of our video in order to how to add Helm repos. So for that, what I have done, I've added the stuff in the same README MD. So Helm ArgoCD repo with GitLab. So I've already used this particular repo, and this is also publicly available, right? And for that, what we need to have, we need to set up the ArgoCD token, right? And we are going to do that. So regarding that, if you want to see the official link, how you can add those Helm repos and push to your custom Helm repos. So this is the official link. You can visit. All the commands actually are taken from here. You can use, you can read more about how to do the stuff and add this in your CI/CD part as well. But this demo is we are going to make things simple, right? So we need to create token here. So regarding the creation of token, this is the first step. So project ID of this repo is not this one. So let me open this guy in another tab. Okay, if I okay. Okay, so regarding the project ID, you see, for instance, this is the repo, this is the project ID. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to create access tokens. So you need to definitely narrow down the scope of tokens. So as this is the demo, I'm going to simply check all these um, security stuff regarding registry and all this stuff. Excuse me. Then I'm going to update the role here. I mean, it should not be like guest one. So it should be owner, right? And then I'm going to say that let's call this Helm, all right, and um, create a project token. I'm going to simply remove this token after this video. So we have this token, right? So now what we are going to do, so if I you need to make sure that you should not I mean you should copy this particular or guide to your uh, text editor, right? So to make sure this I mean once you go away from this tab, and this token is not going to be available, right? So scroll it down till where we are looking to add the Helm repositories, right? So this is the area, right? So we have Helm token available. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply copy this particular command. By the way, this command is already available in the official area, which I've already shown you guys, right? See, this is the command. We are actually copying it, and this is the default GitLab example.com. I've just modified it, and we are using, we are going to modify this particular because we are using the GitLab example. So let me modify this guy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this guy in my VX code. So this is my sandbox directory. I'm going to open VS Code here, right? So Let's do that. So click, I'm going to click this guy here. I'm looking to create one file and I'm going to call this helm.txt, right? So just create this particular file. You need to simply paste the stuff which we have copied. So channel, let's say you can give this channel name stable, right? It's totally up to you what name you want to give. I'm going to call this stable. So packages Helm, right? And the project ID, as it's shown you, I need to pick the project ID from where I'm going to pick this project ID. So this is the token area, right? And if I scroll up, let me do scroll up here. So this is the project ID. I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to press Control V here, and I'm going to update this guy here by simply removing the example.com. Here you have your if you have a custom domain set up with GitLab, your custom GitLab, you can do that. So now this is the username. Username is going to be the ArgoCD, which we have created the name of the token ArgoCD, and the password is going to be that particular token. So let me simply copy that particular token from here. So this guy I've already copied. Now it is going to be visible for you guys. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this project. Not going to call this project one. I'm going to call this a DevOps project. Okay, project one. So let's try to let's try to copy this guy. I'm going to do copy here, and I just want to make sure that I do have access to this particular repository. So I'm going to exec into my container, which is this sandbox running on my machine, right? So let's do that. So I'm going to run this particular menu. You see, DevOps project has been added to your repositories. So if I scroll up, if I navigate back to the area here, okay, so let me show you. Let me scroll the bar. So, okay, and so, okay, so let me, okay, you need to make sure you should have plugin available. For instance, I need to install this Helm push plugin. You see how we can do that. So you can simply copy this particular command. You need to make sure Helm is already installed into your machine. So I'm using containers, so I've already have Helm installed into my container. Let's try to simply install this plugin by using this command, and I've done the copy paste here. It is going to install this Helm push plugin. You should have this plugin available. Then what we are going to do, right? We are going to first of all create a demo Helm chart, right? And then we are going to push that particular chart to our packages area. So regarding the packages area, let me show you. If you navigate to the deploy, right, and package registry, right? So currently we don't have anything here, right? So let's see the status of this plugin. This plugin is now installed. What we are going to do now, I'm going to simply create one Helm chart, Helm create Let's say I'm going to call this chart blue, right? So it is now created, and I'm going to do some modification here if I navigate to my VS Code. So in this particular chart, I would like to update the values.yaml. So this is my public repo regarding Docker Hub, QuickBooks 20, uh, QuickBooks 2018. Okay, this is the blue image, and I'm going to use the latest image which I've already pushed to that particular guy. So, guys, this has been updated. So, what I'm going to now do, I'm going to package this guy. All the commands I've already added here. So, regarding the packaging, okay, so okay, let me add these particular commands seems to be missing, but I'm going to add the link of those particular cheat sheet for you guys. So guys, what I've done, I've added the link of this cheat sheet in this particular readme mg file. You can do that. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this particular command. I have already made videos with regard to the help. You can watch those particular videos, but I need to add this cheat sheet here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say um, Helm package blue. So so if I do ls, you see this blue tgc is created, right? And if I navigate back to this area, I need to push this guy to my project, and my project name is if I simply copy this guy and bring this guy here in my VS Code, you see. Okay, so press enter. So my project name I've already updated. So let's try to simply copy this guy and press Control V, and I'm going to simply paste this particular command here. So let's try to push this guy. Push has been done. So if I navigate back to this area and try to refresh it, so this is my remote you can say Helm repository. So how although this is public, you can definitely make this area restricted. So as this is the demo, so this is the link of your Helm remote repository. So simply if I navigate back to this area, and if I paste it here, so let's try to paste this guy here. So you currently see nothing, but how we can check? So right. So if I navigate back to this section, so I've added commands. So Helm remote repo. So I'm going to call this Helm repo. Name of my repo is my repo, and let's try to add this particular command. So I missed it. So just a second, please. Helm. Okay. Uh, I missed the add. I think Helm repo add. Yep. So I need to add here. So you see, if I do Helm repo ls, so you will see that my repo with this link is now available, right? And you see, this is the DevOps project. And if I do Helm search my repo, I should be able to see that particular package which I've already pushed to see. I'm able to see the version of that particular package, and this is the blue one, right? So simply you can do, I mean, pull your repo, and what it does once you add it, you can simply do pull if you don't have this TGs available, and you can install this way. So this is additional stuff anyway. This is not required. This is just for understanding. So I mean, let me show you this part. So the link of my repo is this one. So how we can add this Helm chart repo in ArgoCD. So I've already shown you the additional stuff. So if I navigate to the cluster section, sorry, navigate to the settings. First of all, you need to add Helm repository, which we have already created, right? We are going to connect over HTTPS. So click this guy, HTTPS instead of Git. We are going to use Helm. Name of this, let's call this okay, blue. Let's call this blue. You can give any name, default, username, password. This is public. So let's try to connect with this guy. And you see, successful. Now the logo has been changed. Previously we used Git in previous videos. Now we are using Helm. So let's try to create application. So and also one thing I need to show you, I'm going to add like new stuff. For instance, just assume that new version of your application is available. Let's try to say, um, update the version and update these particular command, and let's try to create the package again. So you see, now we have two packages, the updated version. So I'm going to push the updated version uh, to my repository. So simply, I need to update this area here. So if I do push, so push has been done. And if I do navigate to my packages area, you see, just to update you, this is the new version of my application. You see 01.0011, right? And yep, that is pretty much it. So now navigate to ArgoCD, navigate to new application. I'm going to call this application blue, um, right? So I'm going to use default project. Let's try to automate this one, right? And prune resources self-heal to. We have added multiple cluster. Now we have a choice to either deploy this on new cluster, right? So what we are going to do, I'm going to add this same Helm repo URL. Chart version, you see blue, but if you click this guy, you will be able to see the two versions. See, 010 and 011. So let's try to use this one, and later on we are going to update this similar guy. So you see now we have these options. So I'm going to not deploy on this default cluster. I'm going to looking forward to deploy on this new cluster. Let's call the namespace is going to be blue, although the namespace in second cluster does not exist. So let me show you. Let's try to connect with second cluster. This is our second cluster. Currently, you see no namespace with blue is available. So I guess that is pretty much it. Let's try to create it. And what it does, it is going to deploy the 1.0 version of our application on the second cluster, which we have actually provided. So, okay, so you see blue, it seems to be healthy. If I navigate back to this area, this is the cluster number 2. You see now blue namespace is available, and this is our application is deployed. So, in the last, guys, I need to, for instance, I've updated my version through CI/CD, and I just looking forward to manually update this. Navigate to this application details, click edit, and new version. I'm looking to update here this blue version. This new one is available. I'm going to click this guy, simply save it, right? And what it does, so navigate back to this area. So what it does, it is going to simply update new version of your application. So, but definitely you need to make sure, If I navigate to this section, click the sync option, synchronize, and let me scroll it down and bring this guy here and bring this guy. You see, I mean, the new version is going to be available for you guys. So, although we don't have any change with regard to that, so that is how it is going to be done. And simply by default, it has a time interval of 3 minutes, or I guess around about 3 to 5 minutes. You can do manually by refreshing it, although we are using the same version, so no change. So anyway, if you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe the channel. And have a nice day. Thank you.